I'm so glad you joined me for this coaching session. It's the second in the series, and I want you to make sure you leave us your comments as you listen, maybe questions or some nuggets you are picking. And I'm going to coach us on two topics. Two topics: self mastery and casting your vision. Self mastery is something we need to pay attention to if we are going to really be in leadership. Yeah, these sessions are conversations on leadership. So I call it the leadership conversations. That's what we are going to be doing with these um, videos. So, two subjects we'll be dealing with: discipline of personal growth and learning. Discipline of personal growth and learning, which is under self mastery. Now, self mastery is not about you knowing everything. It's not about knowing everything about yourself, everything about every other thing. No. Self mastery is a journey. It's a journey of life. And it's a discipline. It's a personal discipline of growth and learning. If we are in leadership,
In leadership,
we are
we
expected
are
to
expected
relate
to
with
relate
people,
with people
interpersonal
in
relationships.
interpersonal
And how does that happen? The leader must understand
relationships,
his or
his or
herself
herself
before the
before
individual
the
can lead
individual can lead
others.
others.
So I will
So I
focus
will
on
focus
the
on
leader.
the leader.
Some other time we'll focus
Some other
on
time we
the
focus
follower.
on the
But I want to
follower.
focus on the
I
leader
want to
because the
focus
leader
on the
is
leader
key.
because the leader is key.
When the leader does not understand himself, I will use the masculine pronoun, but it applies to male and female. When the leader does not understand himself, has never done a self assessment of himself, does not understand his emotions, why he does things the way he does things, his style of communication, the individual will definitely have challenges in relating with the employee or any other person you are dealing with. Now, for self mastery, it's important that you have a worldview of people. How do you see people? Do you see it that everybody is wicked, everybody is evil, everybody is bad, everybody is lazy? Now, when you have that worldview, that's the way you will communicate to others. So, the worldview of the individual is so important in leadership because that will help in the way we relate and treat others. If we believe that humans have the capacity to be creative, then our approach in our leadership will be different. We believe that yes, other humans are capable of being creative, and that will enable the leader to respect the other individual, giving them the opportunity to exercise their abilities, their skills. So the worldview of the leader matters in relating with others. And then when we talk about people with high levels of personal mastery. Personal mastery, I've said, is a journey of life. It's a journey of life. So, personal mastery, for people that have the high level of it, they are people who are continually experiencing their ability to create the results in life that they desire, the results you desire. And that takes you to goal setting, how you set your goals for your life. Where are you focusing? Where are you going to? Are you sure of what you really, really want? Now, from the quest of people that have high level of personal mastery, they are continually learning. And that learning would give the spirit of learning organization. A leader that has a company, is already running an organization. If you, as the leader, is focused on personal mastery, it will go a long way to help you in interpersonal relationships. So, let me go further on personal mastery. One of the things that mark the high level of personal mastery in an individual is that you are grounded in competence and skills. You are grounded in competence and skills, which means approaching your life as a creative work. I think sometimes we have this impression that we can live a life without problems, and that is not the truth. The problems that we come across in life help us to improve on ourselves. They help us to acquire skills. So we need to have that understanding that when along the way I confront an opposition, what I need to do is to exhibit a different mindset. There are people who would exhibit discouragement immediately they confront any obstacle. They are discouraged, they give up. Yet there are people with self-mastery who, in setting their goals, they understand that there will be delays, there will be disappointments, there will be failures, and they have set their minds at being creative about the problems. So when the problems come, it wouldn't be, oh, I didn't know this would happen. It's terrible. I don't know what to do. And before you know it, you've given up. So our self-mastery grounds you in competence and skills. That means you approach your life with creativity. That's your mindset about life. It's not about complaining. It's not about giving up. And another thing it does for us is that when personal mastery becomes a discipline, and it becomes a discipline, that is an activity we integrate into our lives. We make it a discipline. It embodies two underlining movements. One is continually clarifying what is important to us. When there's a misunderstanding, you clarify, where is it coming from? And what path should we take so this doesn't disrupt the goals that we have set? That's when we are making personal mastery a discipline. It becomes a discipline. We are continually clarifying what is important in the matter. What is our goal? How did we start? And with this distraction, how do we manage the distraction without losing focus on the goal? So rather than spending so much time coping with problems along our paths, that we forget we are on that path in the first place for a reason. You're in that path for a reason. The result, um, the result is that we only have dim or even inaccurate view of what is really important to us. If we set a goal that we need to achieve a particular success, and there are people who are not coming along, who are slow in coming along. There are people who are not, looking now at a team, people who are not forthcoming, not communicating. There are people who are hoarding information. Definitely it will be upsetting. But in order to mediate, you have to keep focusing on the goals you have set. So personal mastery is you working in discipline on yourself, making your life journey creative. I anticipate there will be obstacles. I anticipate everybody may not come along. I anticipate that things may not flow the way we had planned. So, when those disruptions come, what do? I have to set my eyes on the goal. Set my eyes on the goal. So, however we are managing skillfully the disruptions, we don't lose sight of the goal. And that tells me that, yes, I am self-disciplined. I have mastered how to manage my emotions, manage my plans. I have mastered how to stay focused on what I'm doing. The other aspect that I want us to look at is the aspect of casting your vision. Casting your vision. And in casting your vision, I have a few questions I want to ask. Yes, casting your vision. Your vision is like your eyesight. It shows you where you are going. And if your sight is not clear, you might stumble into things. You might miss your way. The same happens with our vision. I'm talking about leadership. For a leader to be successful, there has to be a vision. So in casting it, let me ask you about 4 questions. The first one is, what problems are you willing to solve for people? That's how you get your vision. That's how you cast it. What problems? A vision that has not included other people will not go far. A vision that is self-centered. What I need, I'm running this business just to pay my house rent, just to take care of my children's school fee, put food on the table, and that's it. Of course, that vision is self-centered, is short-sighted, it will not take you far. But if we are looking at life generally, just like I talked about self-mastery, if you don't have a focus in life, you don't see yourself enthusiastic about taking on challenges, you don't see yourself as every day looking inward. How do I communicate with people? How do I relate with people? My interpersonal relationship with people. When I don't do that, it will be difficult for me to lead others. I have to lead from the discipline I have imbibed for myself. So the same thing with vision, casting your vision. There's a dream in your heart. There's something you've been longing for and wishing you could do. And maybe you have already started. But how will that your vision solve problems for people around you? Solve problems for people in the world? Because the problem you solve is what will put money into your hands. And the ability to solve the problems in the proper way is part of your vision. So what problems are you willing to solve? That must be at the back of your mind when you're thinking vision. What problems? What products? Number two, get your vision, if you don't have any at all, or you have one but it's not very clear, I will say to you, get your vision from your childhood dreams. Not far-fetched. There was something you wanted to do as a child. When I grow up, I want to be a teacher like my dad. When I grow up, I want to be a nurse like my mom. And sometimes you pick it from the influencers in the culture. But what is that childhood dream that is embedded in you? You've nursed it. Don't give it up. Pick it up, dust it up. That could be where your vision may come from. The third question I have is, where to get your vision? Get your vision from these contented people, the voices of complaint, the voices of dissatisfaction, the voices that are saying, we don't have this in this area, in this community, the voices that are complaining about, why don't we have more stores here? Why don't we have people who are doing dry cleaning services? You can get your vision from these contented voices. And the fourth thing I will ask you to do is write down your vision. That which has been growing within you. Write it down. Whatever it is, I want to be this, I want to do this, I want to travel to this place to do whatever you have on your mind. Write it down. It's so important. Don't say, I know it. I know what I want. You may know it, but listen, you may not be able to articulate it. If somebody asks you, what's your vision? Now you have 4 things to say to the person. I think I want to do this. I think I want to do the other one. No, there has to be one thing that arrests your attention, where your focus is. Now, having shared that, let me go to the key things that will help you with casting your vision. I have 4 of them. While vision can be seen as a dream, a form of dream, in a very real sense, it is a specific type of dream, listen to this, built on information and knowledge. Especially if you are very religious, you are a church person and a faith person, you quote scriptures, you confess them, and you say things like, I have this vision, I have this dream, this is what I want to do. And you say, I'm praying, I'm trusting God. Please note that it really doesn't work that way. You have to write it down. I remember about more than 40 years ago, when I was starting our organization, I visited a well-known individual an architect, and was a successful one. His name was a household name. And I visited with him in a group of a team that encouraged me, let's go meet him. He's doing similar things. Maybe we can learn from him. So when we got in, the first question he asked me is, what is your vision? At that point, I couldn't articulate what my vision was. And then the next thing he said to me, you know, that vision you have is in your head, and I can't get into your head to see what is there. You need to write it down. And I felt really spiritual and wondered, how could I write something that I believe God has given me down? I didn't understand it. So I left him pondering that a vision, can it even be written down? You know, it's something precious, it's deep within me. And I remember in my reflections, a thought came to me that even God wrote down his vision. Yes, he had a vision to send his son and save the whole world. But he wrote it down in a book called Bible. So you read that, you find the visions of God. What coming to earth will do for humanity. Where humanity would end after life on earth. He wrote it down. So that helped me to know that I need to write it down, number one. Number two, I need to begin to do research. And in our time, you have various ways open to you where you can do research. You need to ask questions. You need to understudy some that have gone ahead of you who have succeeded. And if they are realistic people, they will also share their challenges, the failures, and how they overcame their failures. But the important thing I want to leave with you is that your vision would have these 2 key things, information and knowledge. You have to do research. The second thing is, it's crucial to identify a vision that matches your personality. You may see an outgoing person and you see what, the work the person is doing, and you say to yourself, that's what I want to do. Meanwhile, you are introverted. You don't like being amongst people. You don't like having any conversation with anybody. But that individual is outgoing, is the life of the party. He can talk, they can socialize. You cannot. Your vision is crucial for it to match your personality. Number 3, however, vision However, it's even more important to thoroughly research the pros and the cons of that type of vision. Yes, I have this dream, this is what I want to do. You need to research thoroughly the pros and the cons of that vision. And the last point I give you is learn from the successes and failures of others. Don't just copy others' vision without gaining a full understanding of their businesses, their business operations from the start to where you have met them. It's important that you study, you do research. So two things are brought out in this video. One is your self-mastery. Know yourself. Know yourself. Know why you do things the way you do them. If you still attribute your weaknesses to other people, you don't have that self-mastery. If when you talk to people, you yell at them, you kind of bully them, there's no self-mastery there. And if anything anyone says to you gets you upset and offended, you can't have interpersonal relationship in the workplace because there's a lack of self-mastery. It's important I know myself, understand myself, and know how I carry on with myself. The discipline begins with me. And because it begins with me, I will know how I relate with other people around me. And then the second thing was casting your vision. You know, the good thing about this is that I've written a textbook, a leadership textbook. It's an organizational leadership and management textbook. So you can search it out, Fundamentals of Designing and Structuring a Winning Organization. Check it out on Amazon. And also we have our Leadership Institute, which is an online leadership institute. It's called People Focused Leadership Institute. And you can check us out on PFL Consul, consul.com. Check us out on that site and you will get the full teachings on this. Your vision is more than 4 pages in the textbook. It has its own video on the Institute. So thank you for being with me today. And I'm hoping you got something from self-mastery and also casting your vision. Don't forget the childhood dreams. Don't forget the discontented voices around you. The problem you solve is what puts money in your life. If you don't have a vision that includes solving problems for others, you will not have the success you are dreaming. So don't forget all of that. And remember, your vision cannot thrive without information and knowledge. You need to do a lot of research, a lot of question asking. You need to go to people who have the answer, not people who have no experience in what you want to do. Go to people that have the answers and they would help you. And where it is difficult to get anybody help you, keep searching. Keep searching. I hope to see you again on this channel, The Leadership Conversation. Okay, how do we carry everyone along when it seems some person is slacking? That's the question. Well, that's a whole teaching on its own. which is called Team Leadership, Leading Teams. In my textbook is chapter 4. So a chapter, you can imagine how much you have in a chapter. So it's not a question that I can just answer to your satisfaction in 1 minute. There's so much one has to learn. So I would refer you, I will encourage you, get a copy of it, or you can go online, pflconsult.com, and check out the courses. We have 7 modules there. So it's team leadership. It's a whole lot to study, how to relate with your team. Okay, I hope that helps. You have a comment? Okay, I think we've come to the end of it. Thank you.